A fundamental chord progression that you need to have a good understanding of in order to play jazz guitar is the minor 2-5-1. And in this lesson I'm going to cover why this progression is important, how the chords function harmonically, how to play it on the guitar, and what jazz standards to check out to get used to playing these changes. Before we get started, I should just say that if you don't know how to play major 2-5-1s, then that is really where you want to start. Check the card above for a video on that, or the description below where I made a lesson on how to play major 2-5-1s. So why is this progression so important? Well, in the shifting sands of jazz harmony, 2-5-1s, whether they be major or minor, are signposts. They are helpful hints as to where the harmony is moving, and they help you know and sort of predict what chords might be coming next, and certainly help massively when it comes to soloing. 2-5-1s are often used to pull a song in a different direction, whether that be moving to a different key temporarily or back to the key we started in. It's a progression that's all about movement, and a pleasing one at that, but what does it all mean? What does the 2, what does the 5, what does the 1 mean, and why do they work so well together? Well, if we harmonise the C major scale, we get the following 7 chords. We get C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G7, A minor 7, and B minor 7 flat 5. If we want a major 2-5-1, we just take chords 2, 5 and 1 from that progression, and we'd have D minor 7, G7, C major 7. Now we can do the same with minor harmony. Let's move to the relative minor of C, so let's move to A minor. Here's that table on the screen, but you'll notice one thing has changed. We've got rid of E minor and we've replaced it with E7, because in minor harmony, the 5th chord, if you just took the normal minor scale, it would give you E minor. Now if you played E minor to A minor, so a 5-1 progression in A minor, it just doesn't have the same pull that you get in a major key where you go 5-1, which would be G7 to C, for instance. So what typically happens is it gets substituted for an E7. If you like borrowing a chord from kind of harmonic minor or melodic minor harmony. So our 2, 5 and 1 from the minor harmony gives us the following chords. It gives us B minor 7 flat 5, E7 to A minor or A minor 7. Another important thing to know is how this chord progression is moving in fourths. So if we look at the circle of fifths or circle of fourths, now I call it circle of fifths or fourths. Fifths if you go clockwise, and it's fourths if you go counterclockwise, which is how most jazz musicians think about it. So if we take a look at it, B, E and A are all right next to each other, and that's, you know, why there's that strong movement, and it makes it easy to learn 2-5-1s. So B, E, A is the 2-5-1 in A minor. If we just move one in and go from E, we go E, A, D. So that would be a 2-5-1 in the key of D. So it's E minor 7 flat 5, A7, D minor. And you can do that anywhere around the circle. So that's a useful tip to find minor 2-5-1s. And chords like to pull themselves to other chords in fourths. There's a strong resolution you get there. So let's take a look at why that exists. We've got our 2-5-1 in A minor. Let's put the notes across the screen of each chord. So in a B minor 7 flat 5, we've got B, D, F, A. In E7, we've got E, G sharp, B, and D. And in A minor 7, we've got A, C, E, G. So we're thinking about how the chords collide at the point of change here. So the B in B, going between B minor 7 flat 5 and E7, the B, it's a constant note, so it stays the same. The D of the B minor 7 flat 5, it stays the same in the E7. The F in the B minor 7 flat 5 goes down a semitone to E, and finally the A goes down a semitone to G sharp. So we've got 2 notes there between the B minor 7 flat 5 and the E7, which is semitone apart, so they really lead well into each other. Going between the E7 and the A minor 7, the E remains the same. The G sharp goes up a semitone to A. The D could go down a tone or up a tone to C or E respectively. The B could go down a tone to A or up a semitone to C, and the D could go up a tone to E or down a tone to C. So it's at the point of change when these notes move into each other, where you've got some things remaining the same and some things very close, moving a semitone away or no more than a tone, which creates very satisfying and sort of expected movements. It's the change between 5 and 1 which has the most important of all, which is that leading tone, which is the G sharp going up to an A. You might think this is all a bit in depth, I just want to play the chord changes, but this understanding is essential for when it comes to soloing, because it's these links between the chords which will help you weave between the chords nicely and make effective and nice pleasing movements on the fretboard, so that you outline the harmony very thoroughly and also give the listener that expected movement. So let's get you playing this in a few places on the guitar. So I've got 3 kind of basic places I would go for this progression. First, starting on root E, we're going to do minor 2-5-1 and A minor, so B minor 7 flat 5, E7 to A minor 7. So we've got B minor 7 flat 5 here on the E string, to E7 on the A string, to A minor 7 on the E string. And just get used to, you know, 4 to the bar, 1 bar of each chord, then 2 bars of the A minor, because that's the most typical way it's going to rear its head, like that. There's more we can do with the chords. We can add funkier sounds on the 5 chord and on this chord as well, but we'll come to that later. You want to be able to do the basics first. Moving it up to root A, we could do, which you can also do at fret 2, B minor 7 flat 5, root A, E7, root E, A minor, root A. Root D, you can do a few different things. I like this. So that's 3 ways to play it. So that gives you a few options there, and get used to those first. So that would be my first point of practice. My second point of practice would be, can you play this progression in other keys? And I'll put that circular force back on the screen, and you can use this to help you. And so we'd say, let's say if we started in the key of C, so C minor being our 1 chord, our 2 would be D, and our 5 would be G. Our next key is going to be F, where we're going to go G, minor 7 flat 5, C7, F minor, and I'd work my way around the circle of fourth. Put yourself on a G minor 7 flat 5, the next chord will be C7, F minor. But if we put ourselves on an E minor 7 flat 5, the next chord would be A7, then D minor. And it said you can use the circle going around that way, so if you start on E, A's then the 5 chord and D's then the 1 chord, so you can just go around like that, which is very helpful. The reason you want to be able to do it in every key is because A, you want to be comfortable with playing these chords all over the neck in the different ways it might present itself, but also you need to be able to recognise this chord progression in tunes when you're learning new tunes or playing new tunes. And what you have to look for is minor 7 flat 5, a dominant chord to a minor chord, it moving in fourths. I know, that's the critical thing. Sometimes you will get a 2-5 and with the minor 7 flat 5 and the A7 resolving to a major, so you might have, like, say, B minor 7 flat 5, E7 going to A major. Cole Porter, for instance, was a great user of that, say, in his standard, what is this thing called, Love, which if you don't know, I've made a video lesson about that, check the card above or the description below for that, but that's a good example where he did it, like, so he's got a minor 2-5-1 in F minor, then he does a 2-5-1, but resolves to C major instead, so you get that sort of slightly unexpected end there by going to a major chord instead of a minor chord, so just bear in mind they can also do that, but get to grips with it in every key, because you want to be able to open up the real book, look at a standard and go, that's a minor 2-5-1 in A flat. I understand where the harmony is moving then. So practice point 2 would be to open up the real book or whatever you use to learn jazz standards and try to spot this progression. And notice how it tries to take you to places. Let's take There Will Never Be Another You. So the first little section of it goes E flat major 7, then 2-5-1 minor in C minor. So there, in the third bar, we have D minor 7 flat 5, G7, C minor. 3 chords moving in fourths of a minor 2-5-1. So, you know, what the songwriter has done there is they've used that minor 2-5 for a nicer movement to that C minor, which is the relative minor of E flat major. So we can use it to get somewhere. If we took the standard blue bossa, we've got C minor, F minor 7, then we've got minor 2-5 here, just going back to the 1. Then we've got major 2-5-1, change of key to D flat major, How do we get back to C minor? We go minor 2 5 1. So we can use it to get places. Like I said, it's a signpost, movements to other keys or back to the original key. Let's say we're in the key of C minor, but we want to temporarily move to E flat minor. We could be in C minor, and then what I need is a minor 2 5 1 in E flat minor, which is F minor 7 flat 5, B flat 7, E flat minor. So let me try that. So I've got my C minor, then I'm going to go F minor 7 flat 5, B7, B flat 7, E minor, E flat minor, sorry. Then I could go D minor 7 flat 5 to G7 to C minor. So as you can hear there, it enabled me to get to somewhere that doesn't really fit with that. In that another U, we're using it to get to the relative minor, you know, so you know, it could be used to get to somewhere unexpected or to go back to sort of the key center, if you like. Just a simple standard to take a look at to get used to it would be Black Orpheus. That'd be a great one. Again, I've done a lesson on that, so check the description and the card for that to take a look at that if you need some help with it. Practice point 3 would be try adding some more variation to the chords on the 5 and the 1. The minor 7 flat 5 doesn't tend to change, but the E7, if we're in the key of A minor, and the A minor could. So for instance, we could go B minor 7 flat 5, maybe E7 flat 9 to A minor 9. A little bit richer. Let's try going to a minor 6 at the end. Bit more character again. What about going to a minor 11? Bit more airy, bit more open. Put in the sharp 9. So E7 sharp 9 to A minor 7. So there's just a few options there, just to spice it up a little bit. We could go minor major 7 on the minor chord. So it's a progression that can cope with a little bit more tension. You know, dominant chords are always great places for that, and you know that minor chord's nice to add in things like 9ths and 6s. Or there I was even having the major 7, so you can have a bit of fun with that if you want to liven it up a little bit. Recapping practice, what I would do is make sure that you understand that these chords are moving in fourths. Use the circle of fourths to help you with that. You know, minor 2 5 1 in A minor, B E A. Look at how that's right next to each other on the circle of fourths or fifths. And make sure you can play the progression in different places using the ways that I showed you earlier. And then, can you play this in any key? If I said to you, play me a minor 2 5 1 in the key of A flat, what chords is it? You want to get to a point where it's instant, so it's 2 is B flat minor 7 flat 5, 5 is E flat 7, 1 is A flat minor. Why is that important? Because, you know, progressions move along quickly and we don't have a lot of time to think, and you need to be able to spot these kind of things on the fly. So get it down in every key and then gravitate towards learning songs that use this progression. And just, just absorb how, like I said, it's a signpost. It wants to go there. If I don't go there, I mean, we can have other pleasing progressions like that one. That was quite nice. You know, but it really does want to go to that D minor. In Black Orpheus, the minor 2 5 1 happens a fair bit, and you get it more used as a turnaround. So it's like A minor, then you get the 2 5, like that. It's more like a turnaround, but it's still a 2 5 1, but it feels like it starts on 1 2 5, if you know what I mean. But in that song, there's a great point where the composer obviously wanted to go to D minor, and we're in the key of A minor, so our 2 5 1 is B E A. But in the second half of the tune, you get this coming out of nowhere. It goes E minor 7 flat 5, A7 to D minor. So suddenly you're in the world of A minor with the 2 5 1. And then we get this, which is, hello, we're going to D minor sort of moment. So, you know, you need to get used to spotting these things and practicing them.